Today's video is all about the good and the bad of growing crops on a personal island. Let's start with the bad, and then we'll talk about the good and why I personally enjoy doing this in Albion Online. It's one of the main reasons that I used to play this game. So the first reason why it's bad is because it's simply not profitable. Right now on West, the cost of premium is $21,371,000. It's funny because we all got 5 free days that this is starting to actually go down a bit. Wow, that's a first. Anyway, so here's the quick first part of math. There's more to this, and we'll get to it. At maximum specialization, which I will mention takes months of harvesting crops to get, you will be able to water plants at 125 focus. And if you get 10,000 focus per day, you can water 80 crops. So each crop will have an average of 9 crops yielded. If you were to harvest 1 million crops, that's what the average number would be. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but you're expected to get around 9. So 80 times 9, 720 crops. They sell for 500 each. That is 360,000 silver just from the crops. Now, besides crops, but when you water a plant, for instance, this crenellated burdock here, when you do water it, you will always get your seed back. So it's free, which is great. And there's a % chance to get twice as many seeds. So this crenellated burdock has a 27% chance to give you a second seed. Now you may be wondering, should you plant the second seed even though you may not have enough focus to water it, or should you sell the seed? And normally I would say do the math, but I've already done the math for you. I'll show you that right now. Here we are with the math. We'll talk about it. So a seed, for instance, the crenellated burdock on screen right now, is worth 7,121 silver per seed from the market. And the reason why this is the way it is because people can buy it for cheaper on the market than they can the NPC vendor. Now, the only exception to this is if recently the server has altered the global discount percentages by raising the gold cap, which happens once every 3 to 5 years. So normally you don't have to worry about this. Channel members know a secret about how to abuse this to become billionaires in minutes. But that's another secret for another time. Anyway, so the average seed return means that you will get 1,924 silver on average. So you plant 80 crops, you multiply that by that amount. That's an additional 153,920 silver that you can be expected to get every day from extra seeds. Now, if you add this to the crop yield, you get 513,920. Remember, this is at maximum possible spec every single day. This is what it caps out at. Unless the market suddenly changes, which the price for seeds won't change, because, again, it caps out due to NPCs. You're able to buy it from them. It'll never raise past a certain amount. Whereas the crop yield might one day, but it probably won't, because most people, they keep the economy in check. So if you keep the seeds and then plant them instead, you're going to take 80, which is how many you watered. You gain an additional 27% of your seeds, which is 101 seeds. That means 101 crops times 9, the average crop yield, times 500. The price of the crops is only 454,500 silver. So you lose about a little under 60,000 silver every single day that you don't sell the seeds. Therefore, there you go. Hopefully that educated you. Now I'm going to be a little generous with this math here, okay? So here's the deal. If you make around 500K every single day for 30 days, it's like 15 million, right? And, well, premium was 21.5 million on average currently as of filming this. So you lose 6 million silver each month if you just do crops, which means you can't have 20, or in my case, 100 characters that you simply just log into, plant crops, water crops, and log out. And the next day you pick up the crops, and then you do it, you rinse and repeat, and you just keep doing that until you just make multiple hundreds of millions of silver, which is how I used to play this game, and why I enjoyed it so much. More on that later. So let's get back to the math. But if you're just playing one character, right now, just doing crops, you're losing 6 million silver each month. You kind of want to spend your focus on a crafting profession like being a chef that can make you way more silver per day. For instance, if I'm only making 500,000 silver per day watering crops, that sucks, because on a chef character, I can make 2.5 to 5 million a day for doing about the same amount of work and the same amount of time investment, right? So that means, why would anyone bother with harvesting crops? Well, for me, I like to do the crops because it's brainless. It's something that I used to be able to do when premium was like 6 million, 8 million, 9 million. You know, as long as premium is under that 15 million, I could technically do it on an infinite amount of characters, as many as I want to play. Anyway, so that's why crop, harvesting is kind of bad at the moment, and it might remain that way unless the market shifts and the crops become worth more silver. That's the only way to really do it, right? But even then, crops would have to be worth 1,000 each to even maybe make enough to cover premium. Anyway, so what about if you just play one character? It's not as bad, right? So at the end of the month, you get these little chest rewards. You get 4 of them. But if you're smart and you buy premium on the last day of the month, you can get all 4 of these chests, the mounts, etc., etc. And then when the next month rolls over, you can get all 4 of those chests. And that includes the Faction Warfare chests, and that includes the Conqueror's Challenge chest here, if you do Black Zone content. So, those are things to keep in mind, but let's do the math on those. And we're being generous. You have a 25% chance to get a focus potion out of those chests, and those are basically worth 500k each, because they're a day's worth of focus. So you make 500k a day from 10k focus. On average, 2 focus potions from the 8 chests, that's $1 million. And then you got the 2 mounts, assuming the mounts aren't complete garbage. Now, next month's mount is pretty bad. You can go here and go to August, because I'm filming this in July right now. You can see that the current mount is the Spectral Dire Boar. 600k, not bad, right? And you go to August here, and well, August isn't as good. August is this really crappy Divine Owl. It's slow. It's one of the worst owls ever. It's only worth 256k, and that value is going to drop, especially during August, because more people will have that. So that's not even really technically $1 million when you add the 2 up. But we're going to say it is for the sake of the argument here. And so you're still 3 million in the hole, and then if you do the faction chests, if you even do faction PvP, or the conquest chest, if you even do the conquest, the Black Zone stuff. And yes, the conquest chest can have a baby mammoth, but it almost never happens. Don't count on it, okay? Don't count on hitting those jackpots. That's a gambler's fallacy. So let's, that's like being 2 million in the hole. So if you only play one character and you go farm 2 million silver, which you can do in a couple hours when you skin animals, great, you break even. But see, the way I see it is that you're doing all of this work just to break even? That sucks. That actually feels really, really bad. But this video isn't about griping about the cost of premium. It's about talking about crop harvesting. And I just want to let people know that it's one of the lower money makers in the game, but it is also the freest and laziest, because every single seed that you plant, you get back if you water it, and then you have a chance to get extra seeds. And it just generates money. It's the laziest way to generate money. Right now, my character has 20,925 focus, and I'm going to spend it all, and I'm going to show you. Remember, this is maximum spec. It only costs me 125 focus when you first start out with crop harvesting. Watering one crop costs 1,000 focus. Okay? So I am way more efficient than a character just starting out. And this is one of the harder and more time-consuming things to level up in Albion Online, like gathering and crafting. Yes, very expensive and time consuming. Crop harvesting, it takes months. The only way to speed this up is to rent player islands by the hundreds and then harvest the crops at a loss, because you can't afford to water all of them. And so you're not getting those seeds back most of the time. Like right now, if I just plant a seed and don't water it, let's see, the percent chance that I get a seed is only 73%, and seeds are expensive. They're 7,000 each. So you have a chance to lose quite a bit of silver leveling this up if you do it the fast way. This specific character, right? I've actually leveled up 2 plants to 100, and I've been playing this character for 3 years. Okay, that's how long that took. And remember, this is a time when premium could pay for itself. Alright, I never rented islands. I simply just made more characters, and the more characters I made could fund more islands. And then I would just pick one of my alt characters and then harvest hundreds of islands. And I have about 10 other characters that have at least max level gathering, or not gathering, but crop yield. Hold on, there's something outside like screaming. I don't know what kind of animal that is. That's weird. A weird animal sound from outside. I'm sorry, guys. But what I'm trying to say is that in 3 years I was able to level like maybe 10 characters to maximum crop growing. Okay, it's even though I have hundreds of characters, those guys just exist so I could have more personal islands to grow crops on. And like I said, with the price of premium now, you can't do this. You can't just make a character. You would be losing silver. You're better off just keeping your damn silver. So I just watered 4 islands here, and I had this one here that was already done. And that only cost me like 3 or 4K focus. Now here's the thing, right? This only takes minutes a day, right? That's I just got to do this like 2 more times. Hold on, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't had premium since November. I'm a little out of practice. But what I'm trying to say is that this is an absolute brainless activity that if you don't want to do math and spreadsheets and look at market prices and the cost of crafting benches and what's on sale, and looking at the little the bonus crafting thing over here, the daily production bonus. Like, I don't craft leather armor or swords. I don't have to do a mountain of math every single day that I play this game to spend this focus. If you just want to be a brain dead, player that just mindlessly farms this stuff to make a little bit of extra side money and then just play the rest of the game, like go gank people, go smash some dungeons, go do whatever you want, then this is absolutely for you. And it's absolutely one of my favorite things about Albion Online. There is no other MMORPG currently on the market where you can just farm flowers on your islands, or your land rather, and then use that money to fund your war effort to go kill other players. The only other game that kind of did this that comes close was Age. But you could only have, there was only a set amount of land available in the game, which bots, controlled and fought over. It was really hard to get land as a player in that game due to all the cheating. So a lot of people had to glitch out of bounds and then grow crops illegally on the outskirts of the game's borders. Because you could plant things anywhere in that game, but people could come by and steal it, right? Whereas if it's planted on your land, they couldn't touch it. And me and a bunch of other people, we made it a hobby where we would ride around and try to find these illegal, growing areas and just yoink everything. Hell, whenever I technically suicided my Age account, what I did was I took 3 characters worth who saved up what's called labor points. It's very similar to focus points in this game. And I flooded the pirate islands with orange trees because I thought it was funny, right? I thought it would be, hey, let's give the pirates some oranges because of scurvy. And what ended up happening is the entire server raided the pirate island to gather free oranges. It was a server-wide event. It was so fun. It was so crazy. It's one of my favorite memories of all time in Age. And yeah, you can't really quite do that in Albion Online because all your islands are instanced and they're infinite. But it's still really cool to do. And like I said, this takes no time at all. This is brain dead easy work. This is just slap some plants into little dirt plots and then just give them the old watering can and they just make money. It's like you're just growing money out of the ground. But if you're a super serious player and you want to min-max your fame, then you gotta, get some crafting stuff going. But at the same time, here's how I play this character. To me, this is a multi-step process if I was actively playing with premium all the time. I would spend several months just growing crops and not selling the crops. No. This crenellated burdock, I would save it up for months at a time, and then I would grow comfrey and save that up for months at a time. And it just so happens that this character is a max level alchemist, so he can make potions with as cheap focus cost as possible. So after months of growing all these crops and storing them, I can then spend a month crafting all of them into potions, and then I've effectively, basically, crafted just tons of potions completely for free. Well, with the cost being the cost of premium, I guess. Well, whatever animal was screaming outside, there are now people mowing out there and doing landscaping. And so, I don't know what's gonna happen to whatever that animal was. Hopefully it's in, a tree or something. I would hate for, some dude in a riding lawnmower to just, splatter a kitten. That would be pretty horrible. Wow, this video got grim dark real fast. It's supposed to be, about growing plants and using money to like do PvP in a full loot game and stuff, but it just ended up just kittens and lawnmowers, bros. Oh, geez. Now that I've said it, some dude is gonna make one of those weird videos and post it on 4chan. You just know they are. But yeah, we've almost spent the focus here, and you know, we all got the 5 days of free premium if we played during the DDoS attacks. If you're watching this in the future, that's kind of what happened. It's Fame Week currently. I'm not eating a cake because I'm already maxed out. I don't really have a reason to get more fame. You don't get fame for planting. You only get fame for ripping up the the plants. So what I could do is log into an alt character if they had premium, and then use them to, you know, grab the crops so they get some XP. But unless I plan to use them as a crop grower, there's really no point. And I've already got plenty of burdock growers all maxed out for, you know, potion making. So yeah, that's all we're doing. You know, we're down to 6,000 focus, and this character has 4 days of premium left. And what I like to do personally is I like to keep some of the focus just as a spillover in case there's a crazy market like gold rush, because sometimes, believe it or not, entire markets get bought out, and that is the best time to sell raw ingredients, because people will pay higher than normal due to the scarcity of it. So if you ever, like, for instance, this is all crenulated burdock. If you ever go to the market and there's like none listed because a whale bought them all, then you list yours for 20% above market average, it'll sell. And that's a good day. That's an extra profitable spicy day, but that rarely happens. And you have to remember that there are bots that scan the markets constantly. There are players, you know, all in trade discords and marketing economy discords, you know, all sharing this kind of stuff with each other. So you can only really expect it to be like empty for a few hours before someone offloads truckloads of burdock back onto the market, which then everyone starts undercutting and it stabilizes, you know, once again. But, you know, raw ingredients, they always sell in this game, unless, like, the player accounts just die, or people stop crafting potions, which potions are one of the most consumed items in the game, believe it or not. It is not food, it is potions. Because, shoot, you go out ganking with 10, like, you know, minor poison potions, you're throwing all those bad boys at your targets. That's just how it is. And you may be thinking, wow, you have so many islands, how can you keep up with them all? It's really simple. I just use a notepad, and I gotta start watching my focus here. I don't want to plant more than what I can water. So 125 times 9, well, let's just do times 10, that's 1,250. So I can do at least 2 full plots before I have to start, you know, paying attention to my focus spending here. And while I do have a focus potion, I don't really use those for watering crops, because, like I said, this character is a max level potion crafter, so what I do is I save the focus potions for a rainy day when the market has a huge upswing. I can then spend the focus potions crafting, you know, who knows what, especially if it's right here on the daily production bonus, like if potion is on there. Oh boy, that's a good time to drink a focus potion for sure. So it's always good to save those up. So I know I can water this whole field, and then I'm about to run out here. Let's see. We're getting kind of close. You can see that number start trickling down. And, let's see, we're down to 886 focus, so that's at least, we can do 3, that's 1, 2, 375, and then that's 500, and that's 625, that'd be 750, so I think that's all we can do. And let's, see if we're right, and 130, we can do one more, there we go. And that is our focus until tomorrow, right? Now, these plants, they'll grow, they'll mature, and we can harvest them in 22 hours. And so this is how I do it. I have a little ledger here, where I just kind of write down everything that I'm doing here. And this is not all my islands. This is just currently what I use. And you can see here, I wrote down Swole, Geeky, Tummy, Cringendary, Elliot, Virgin. Let's see. Burdock ready at, it's minus 2 hours, so 7:06 a.m. That's my time. Don't cross-reference that UTC. Don't dox me, guys. And then I'm just gonna save that, and then you know, I open that notepad every day when I'm doing my laborer stuff, and I'll see that and be like, oh yeah, I have all these crops that I planted. And as long as I harvest the crops with premium, it's fine. You never ever want to harvest crops without premium, because you only get half as much. So instead of getting 9 per crop yield, you will only get 4. It does not matter that you planted these with premium. What matters is that you picked them up with premium. See, premium bonus plus 100% crop yield. So you will always lose money if you if you do not have premium active for this. This is a premium thing. That's just how it is. I wish that SBI would sell or let us buy just premium for crops, because I don't care about the learning points. I don't care about the fame bonus. Obviously, you need focus for crops. Just let me grow crops, damn it. Just let me grow crops. So let me know what you think about the video. Do you grow crops? I want to know what kind of crops you grow. I know in the past when I did the math, I haven't done the math since November, but if you have premium but didn't want to water the crops, you could still make profit from wheat. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I'm not going to do the math. I don't care. But it was barely any profit. You're like maybe making, I don't know, like 2,000 or 3,000 silver per like an entire field. It sucked. It was bad, but it was still free money. I don't know if that's the case anymore. Anyway, go check out some of my other crop farming videos. You can search it on my channel. I have videos on every single thing in this game. Including like cooking, especially cooking, milling, butcher, the saddler, farms, herb gardens, the pasture, and the kennel. I have studied all of those and made very specific videos about those, and they're still relevant to this day. They haven't been patched out or anything. So go check them out if you like the personal island stuff and you want to know what kind of profits you could potentially make. Me, I don't think anything beats just growing crops. Like raising animals, you gotta feed them. There's a lot of extra steps there, but growing crops, you put them in the ground, you water them, you pick them up the next day, you sell them, and then you go buy a bunch of sets and go get killed in the black zone and lose them all. Anyway, I'm SoulBenji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro, stay swole. Let me know what you think, because I read every comment. Make sure you're subscribed. We're so close to 100,000. Wouldn't that be super cool? 100,000 subs. Click the video on the right side of your screen. And if you don't, you're going to forget about your crops and premium's going to run out and you won't be able to pick them up until you get premium again.